Morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning,
Good
Tisha. What's going
morning.
on?
Good morning. Oh, it's a lovely day. Oh, you said that sunlight. It's a lovely day.
Yes, indeed. Um,
It's also going to be a
Today,
busy day, you guys, because we have a lot of stuff going on our agenda.
right, like I said, because I know we've had to cancel the last two shows. I know I was in Florida for 1 week,
And then
and
I
then
was
it's
in Florida for one
you
week.
was in Florida the next week, so we had to cancel those shows because we were on Look, I was on a mission. You was on vacation. So
Mini vacay. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
so so
So
today,
our subject matter.
yes, our subject matter. What the title is called: Do's and Don'ts. Do's and don'ts, and this
Hey,
is pretty much what
Brad.
we're going to talk about. Hey, Brad, I'm here from the start. How's everyone? Brad was going off last night. Let me tell you, Brad was
Uh-oh.
doing it in last night. I was like, and then look, it took him 15 minutes to get off because everybody kept trying to talk. Like it was a good. What he did last night was awesome. Was awesome because I mean, it tickled me to death because he was trying to get off, and then someone would pop in and he'll go on for a few more minutes. I'm like, Brad, boy, I tell you, you off the chain. Um, but we're pretty much, and I'm glad Brad is here because Brad, he can probably come like go along with this. And just so people know that what we're going to talk about today is the do's and don'ts in reference to when you go out to get a venue, when you go out to get vendors for your events. There's a lot of do's and don'ts, and I know, like I was telling Tish this morning, I had a client or customer come up to me and explain to me how um, uh, thanks, Brad. Pretty much on how she was scammed out of her money for one of her events. So, like I told Tisha, it's like I'm hearing this a lot more often,
Mm-hmm.
where people are claiming that they're actual vendors and they're not vendors. They're taking people's money. And what we want to talk about today is how you can recognize these things in reference to what makes them probably not legit. So we want to talk about this and kind of like highlight what type of things to look for. So Tish, what have you noticed? I know you've been in the industry a little bit longer than I have. I think
Mm-hmm.
a little bit, but a lot more longer than I have. So,
Don't be
uh,
trying to age me, dog.
so what type of things have you noticed? Like this trend of bad. I ain't gonna say bad vendors. Well, I'm gonna say bad. Yeah, they are bad vendors, but they're kind of like they don't really provide the services that they claim they're providing.
Well, here's the thing. I'm gonna play both sides for just a second.
Okay.
Clients will enter into verbal agreements with these so-called vendors, um, and will have all these expectations that have not been ironed out on paper. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
Right.
And for that, I have to really point to them and say, y'all got to do better. If you have certain expectations, make sure that those expectations come from here, out of here, and go onto paper.
Right.
Because in order for you to be able to have a leg to stand on, so to speak, you need to have it in writing with your
Absolutely.
signature and that vendor's signature. That's the first thing. Stop just verbalizing things and thinking that's enough. Things need to be in writing, period. And then you have a leg to stand on. So if that vendor does not do what you hired them to do, then you have a way to be compensated and get your money back, or if not all of it, at least a portion of your money back. Because the court system was built for this. Small claims is no longer $5,000. It is now $10,000.
Right.
Okay. So the first thing I want y'all to understand is stop making verbal agreements with folks. Stop hiring the cheapest person that you meet. I'm not saying if a DJ is $350 versus a DJ that is $1,800 that you have to go with the $1,800 one. That's not what I'm saying. But I am saying that you have a larger possibility of that $350 DJ not really doing the job that you're looking for. Prime example, at a wedding that I did last month, I had a DJ that I did not hire, had not vetted, did not know, did not meet until the day of the event, who played It's Getting Hot in Here right after the bride walked down the aisle. Okay? So obviously, whatever money they paid him, he did not deserve it and should have gave it all back because he was horrible. And
and
you
I,
have to send the
and
360 DJ.
she
Okay.
got the video to back that up too.
Oh yes, I do
She
have
got
the
the video to back it up. I saw the
I'm not gonna
video.
play it out here, but Mario has seen it.
I
It's
saw the
real.
video. Yeah, I
It's
couldn't
very
believe it. I didn't
Oh, and
believe
did I mention play? What was the other song we saw? My side piece.
it. Right, and then
Why are you
well,
playing?
I mean, it's a time
Let
and
me not, we
place to
only got
play.
30 minutes. Let me not even get into it. But anyway, anyway, number two, the other because that's the first trend I'm noticing. People just running into these situations when people say, "Oh my God, I hired so and so," and they're gonna do this and the third. Did you put that in writing? So that's the first thing. Get it in writing. Okay. The second thing, before you sign a contract, make sure you have an ability to read it. I don't mean on site in front of that person at that moment. They should be able to send you a blank version of their contract so that the only thing there are some blanks in the contract that have to be filled in with like your name, the date, the location, the amount, stuff like that. But you should be able to read over that contract beforehand because that way you'll know exactly what you're getting, exactly what they're offering, exactly what you're paying. It'll all be in black and white. Nobody can dispute black and white. You understand? Good morning, Carrie.
Good morning, Carrie.
So and number three, I noticed that y'all would jump on somebody that's on Instagram or that's on TikTok, but don't have no info on the person. Like, is their business address not listed on their paperwork? Do they? Because everybody's not a brick and mortar place.
Right,
Over
absolutely right.
65 to 70% of those that are in this industry are not brick and mortar. The bulk of the other ones is that are brick and mortar are mostly caterers, to be perfectly honest with you.
Right,
And then, well, let's say 50% of us are not brick and mortar, 50% are brick and mortar, and that's venues and caterers.
right,
Okay. So most
right,
photographers, videographers, DJs, event planners, um, decorators, uh, videographers, most of us are not brick and mortar buildings.
right.
He has to get a resume or video along with contract. I would think now that's a really good question, Carrie, because I would think that you would want to at least get samples of someone's work.
Right,
Like
absolutely.
one thing that I particularly like is that if you can Google the business, because Mari and I talk about this all the time.
Hmm.
If you can't track a business down via Google, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest, Twitter, what is it called now? X. If you can't track them down that kind of way, it's something fishy with that.
And I'm gonna go in detail with that one.
Go
I'm
ahead.
gonna let you finish, and then I'm gonna go
Okay.
into detail about that one. Go ahead.
And then but I love that question, so we got to definitely come back to that one. But then you also have to. There's another thing I've been noticing is that people will um book these vendors, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I have gotten phone calls the week before and the week of that these vendors have canceled. If you had a contract, there would be a cancellation policy stated in that contract.
And see, to
That would
me, I'm gonna say this: I've never heard of. I mean, like I've never heard of a vendor. I've heard of the client counseling, but a vendor counseling.
Now
Um,
there was one specifically that DJ I was talking about earlier, the one that was actually hired for that event. Um, the DJ, the original DJ had a heart attack. So let me say that. So
okay,
this other DJ was a last minute hire, but
okay,
still
okay.
no one bothered to check his,
Credentials,
credentials
right?
at all, and
And
just hired a warm body thinking they're gonna play some music. He rolled up in there with a phone and a speaker. Okay, I just can't. Anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry.
but
But
that
those are the main things I'm seeing. Jumping, thinking, verbalizing everything, but not getting it on paper. One. Number two, not getting a contract. That's a huge thing.
yes,
Not really doing your research on the business. And I don't care if the lady that sit 2 rows back from you at church on Sunday told you about this photographer over here that she know. You need to research them, look them
right.
up. Now word of mouth is wonderful, referrals are wonderful, but you need to do your own research too. Because I
And
tell people all the time, every personality don't work with everybody.
right. And one of the things that I wanted to add on to what Tish is saying is that when you look at an individual, and she made a point about the money, and I want to talk about that part. The one of the things that you need to do as a customer looking for vendors, looking for venues, is you really want to find out what's the market for your area. Find out what the market level is for your area, and then understand what you're getting. Because I know that's one of the things I do is I take time out to educate my clients on my services before I let them even touch a contract, or I give a full presentation. So when
That's
I say understand your value of what you're hiring, don't get me wrong. There's some DJs that are just getting started, and they don't know the value of their work, so their prices might be low. Or vendors who are decorators who are just getting started, they don't
true.
understand their value until later on down the road. That's just a learning process. But
True.
at the same time, look at what they are presenting to you to show that they are legit. I have a problem with there's no social media at all on these individuals when majority of the stuff is free. That bothers me because like if you look at the two main markets for advertising companies or businesses, you have Google business page, which is free, and you
Mm-hmm.
have Facebook,
Mm-hmm.
which is free. Those are the two main ones now that people get. Instagram is getting up there, but it's not completely up there like Facebook and Google.
But
So,
TikTok is taking over too, and that's free too.
well, see, TikTok is not again, it's not considered a business platform. Um,
I got you.
because it's a quick way of putting out quick information. But
Mm-hmm.
like Google business page and the Facebook business page, those are actually designated social
Mm-hmm.
media platforms for businesses.
Got you.
Where TikTok, Instagram, they really haven't been designated because they don't have the tools to support a business. And I think that's the difference. I want people to understand on that part. But like if I go like for example, if you Google myself or Tisha's business, you're going to see reviews, you're going to see pictures, you're going to see video clips of our work.
Mm-hmm.
Um, if that person that you're hiring can't provide you with that information, or if you can't be able to find information on your own, because keep in mind, people will provide you with stuff, but is it really theirs?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's why I said is that when a person takes time to make it identify, a lot of people don't look at it. Well, I don't want to do that for advertising. Well, it's not for advertising. It's also to for vouching for more,
Legitimize.
right? So you have to understand that that's the way a business is you want to establish trust with the customer up front. You
Yeah, because
shouldn't
I
have to
can.
work on it at the very beginning. You should have to work at it throughout the whole process. Trust
True.
should be presented at the very beginning.
And that's the thing because okay, with Google, just to use Google as an example, I cannot post pictures that are not mine on Google. If I was to post another decorator or planner's stuff on my Google and they turn around and post the same picture or I snatch from their stuff and put it on my stuff, Google's gonna catch that. That's what I
Right,
like about Google. They're gonna catch that.
right.
They've already caught a few people that have posted my stuff as their own. You understand what I'm saying? Because I saw it and I reported the picture.
And that's
You see
why
what
I
I'm saying,
stress
bro?
to and that's why I stress to a lot of these companies. Like, see, I've run into a lot of different vendors that are great at what they do, and they don't have a Google business page or a Facebook page. Now, those two are, I mean, when I say designated business pages, I want you to go look at those and then compare them with the other ones, and you'll understand what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm,
Um,
mm-hmm.
the biggest piece is you got to identify yourself as a trusted vendor or venue. Now, venue is hard to. It's kind of hard to scam somebody or take advantage of somebody as a venue, but it is possible.
Let's not forget about Noah's back in the day that shut down out of nowhere.
Right.
I'm just saying.
So people have to
Left
understand that.
brides hanging all over the state. They
Right.
actually
And again,
several states.
I've had situations where people recommended this person, but guess what? That person didn't do the same work for you because it depends on how they connected together. So everybody needs to understand that do your homework. Definitely, I mean, I really stress do your homework. Do DevGo and see and venues before. Yeah, absolutely.
I
Definitely go
agree,
see the
Brand.
venue before you. Yes, I agree with that, and I think that's what it is that people, if you're going to spend a lot of money for your event, even if you're going to spend a little money for your event, you want to validate what's going on. Like that situation what Tish was explaining, and I did see the video on that one, is okay, if you're hiring somebody and they have no clue of what they're doing for a wedding, for example, if you're hiring somebody and they've never done a wedding before as a DJ, that might not work out too well. Not unless there's a good planner or someone to direct him or her. It could be either him or her in the right
Mhm.
direction. So
And
people need to
even
understand
then,
that,
there's some problems because if they don't listen to you, they're not gonna
right?
do it right
You
either.
can't
It's
be a
that guy
subject
with
matter.
listen.
You can't be a subject matter expert. And it's your first time doing it. I'm sorry.
Okay, but go back to the money thing. Let's go back to Carrie's thing about the resume and video, which Brad did respond to, that he sends packages and samples.
Right? He did.
I
Yes.
know that you and I happen to do presentations to our clients, um, visual presentations so that our potential clients will know what kind of services we offer and the things like that. But let's go back to the money part of it, because Brad even said you get what you pay for, because
Right.
that is real. You'll get, if you want to pay cheap, and you probably gonna get cheap. Not to be funny, cheap, 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 birdie, birdie, birdie everywhere. But here's the thing: I'm not saying you got to pay $25,000 for your wedding either. I'm not saying that, but I am saying that you really need to look into what you're getting for the money you're spending. Now, everybody's not going to give you uplights, gobos. If y'all don't know what that is, Mario will explain it. The nice setup. Mario can show y'all a picture of a really nice setup that he does. You're not gonna get all that for $350. It's just not happening. It's just, let's be real. Oh, the TV monitors. Let's be realistic. That's not gonna happen for $350.
Right.
Now that little dude, I don't know what he got paid, but he came with a phone and a speaker, and
And
that was pretty. And one mic that didn't reach nothing. So, but whatever they paid him, that's all he brought with
and
him.
then I want to also stress, and like just to piggyback off what she's saying, is like what the client just told me this past weekend, or I should say, yeah, this past week.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, Actually, no, it was last week. It was last week because it's the new week. What she told me last week was a videographer, and Brad, I know you're listening to this. I want you to hear this. Um, they paid him $1,700 to do a video. This is just a regular. It was a church event, church celebration, and they paid this gentleman $1,700 to do the event. Okay, so the gentleman, he shows up, he does the event. Yeah, I know, right?
Which is basically the interviewing with the church members about the elder. Wasn't she an elder at the church? That was
Well, it was for a they were doing it for the, I think it was the pastor.
okay. Okay. And
But
he or she was sick or something, or is sick.
right, they were sick of something. They really wanted to capture everything on video.
So
The
this whole
videographer really,
sentimental about
right,
their yeah. Okay,
they
go
really
ahead.
were trying to capture good memories because
Hmm.
this person, was terminally ill, and so they really wanted to get some good memories. Now he was fully aware of this. Um, they paid him $1,700. Now I sat back, and as soon as I heard that figure, I knew something was wrong because that's not the market value that videographers are charging to do a video for 1 hour.
Did you
Um,
just say 1 hour?
1 hour. I think it was like maybe two. Maybe it might have been close to two, but like it wasn't for. It was a short period of time.
Okay.
And most videographers they start off with 800. I think the bottom line is $800 for 4 hours is the basic number, and then from there it goes up. Yes, it was close to like so. Gentleman, and then let me tell you the whole story. The gentleman showed up, video record. We're gonna say he video record everything, and then at the end, when it came time to deliver the package later on, there was no package,
No product.
no
Not in
product,
their video.
not one video. Something
Not a
went
thumb
wrong,
drive. Not a CD
right?
disc.
And the
Not an
story that I was
email.
nothing, and so the story that I was told was, I mean, And that's the problem that I had with it was it's like okay, $1,700. Number one, the gentleman was overpaid. Okay, now again, I never seen his work. I can't say it, but our market value for videographers that number did not match the market. So, and that's why I explain to people really get a chance to understand what you're buying and what you're getting into. So, gentlemen did not deliver the product. So something went wrong, and this is the thing the customer explained to me. Something went wrong with the camera, and none of the footage was captured or recorded.
Okay, wait a minute. Most cameras these days are digital with these little card things in them.
Hmm.
Ain't that about right?
Well, professional equipment, it depends on what you're using because, like, majority of the cameras that we use today don't have built-in hard drive. Now, the video depends on what video camera you use. Yes, it does have a hard drive built in. Some of them do, but majority of the professional ones they prefer to use the cards. Now, both have some of them have both, to where you can choose which way you want the video to go
Yeah.
to. So, what you saying,
Will
Brad?
you need to give back a refund or redo this? That's what I'm saying.
Well,
Like
the
you
thing,
can't say
yeah,
just because I was there, you didn't deliver no
well,
product,
see,
but that
but
goes
that's
back
what
to
I'm getting
the
to.
contract.
So I haven't got to that part yet. So when the gentleman came back, said something went wrong, something took place, so the customer declined, asked for a refund. Well, he's saying that well, since I was there, I can't give you a refund, but there's no product.
That's like, listen, mm, I'm gonna put this in a different way. You booked me for a birthday party for your wife. I show up to the venue and I walk around the whole venue for about 10, 15 minutes. I don't put on a single chair cover. I don't put on a single tablecloth. And then I walk my black ass out. And I'm going to say it just like that. You don't owe me, I don't owe you no money back. But you don't pay me $1,700 to set up something and I ain't done nothing. That's you paying for a service and a product as well. That's why I say your contract got to stipulate
Right.
exactly what you're doing and what you're getting, what you expect and what you're supposed to get. And it stipulates me showing up might be um I don't know, I get paid by the hour. So let's say me showing up to an event may be $800 and the package that you got was about $2,500. I'm just gonna throw some numbers out because I'm not really even sure. But let's say I showed up, but you paid me all $3,300. But I showed them and walked around the room. I owe you that 2,500 off bait, and I probably owe you that 800 too because I ain't really did nothing there. You know what I'm saying? I might have planned some stuff out as long as I can justify the hours or whatever, then whatever. But that's crazy. He didn't deliver a product. He did
Right.
not deliver the product. Do they have a contract that stipulates what he's supposed to deliver? That's why I say they need to take him to court because small claims is no longer $5,000.
Right.
Those are memories that they're not going to be able to have with their pastor because he flubbed. It's not
And
their fault.
people need to understand that, like, keep in mind, not only would if someone goes to court, and I want people to do your homework, go look into this because I've seen it happen so many times. Is just because that you only got paid 1,700 doesn't mean they can get more money back. I mean, they can get more money back because you wasted their time and they
Mm-hmm.
lost those moments. So now they can ask for a lot more
Hello?
because you didn't provide that proper service. And you can't go back and redo a wedding or redo a
You
birthday
can't go
party.
back and redo that photo shoot
Right.
neither. What God forbid that pastor passed away before you
No, it
did
wasn't. It wasn't a photo shoot. It was a video
I mean,
recording.
a video thing. You can't just redo that necessarily because
Right.
you had to have everybody. Remember, people got their own lives, so you had to get everybody on schedule with the same weekend, the same day, or same. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That take a lot of work. There's no guarantee they can redo that thing,
So that's
and
why.
then they done lost all that. Yeah, he does need to make it up to them.
So that's one of the things. So like the same client, because the reason why we were having this conversation is she was looking to hire me for an event, and she was very particular because that one vendor has put a bad taste in
Thank you.
her mouth to where now she's asking all the right questions. My thing is I'm telling people up front, We're saying this because we don't want you to learn from getting burnt first.
Yeah, we want to tell you what the warning signs
Tell
are
what the
from the
warning
beginning.
signs up front, and then go from there. Because I said, well, number one, I'm not gonna. I mean, I when I show up and I do video, I'm not using just one camera. I'm
Hmm.
using at least three cameras, and then on top of that, I have an iPad.
I think you do need to
Oh,
send
I
them.
did get it right. I did. That's why I said I'm glad you showed up because she. That's exactly what I did. Is I gave her your information, because I know how you were connected, as far as with the church, as far as like how you're connected with the church as well. So that's why I sent her your information. So in the
Hmm.
future, she had someone who was professional. Um,
Hmm.
but that's one of those things to where that's why we take time out to build our network of vendors to where people don't get taken advantage of. And the moment I hear something to where a vendor doesn't do what they're supposed to do, then we're good. Just like I don't want didn't want to say a name, but I'm going to say one. The Intrigue venue has been taken advantage of 3 times now. And it's because vendors that have come in and portrayed to be vendors, and then they recommend these vendors, and then the vendors don't even show up. It
Mm.
makes now they take a hit because of vendors not doing what they said they were going to do.
And that leads to vendors not trying to be funny to real professionals, but stuff like that will lead venues rather, to have their own in-house folk and
Right.
don't let everybody come in and out because of those fake vendors who messed it up for everybody else. That's
Absolutely.
what happens. That's exactly what happens. But anyway, so this was our quick and short brief one this week. We apologize, you guys, for the last 2 weeks. Not necessarily apologize, but sorry we missed y'all last couple weeks, but we had
Right. Right.
out of town stuff to do. Um, and Mario actually has an event today. Do you want to tell them about that or?
Well, yeah, the event I have today, and it's pretty much for Ashley Elementary School PBIS. They're doing a pep rally today, and like I said, that again, this is something that I do for all the schools, elementary schools. Is I provide free services. So I know October is a very busy month for me because
Yep.
things are starting to pick back up, because of Halloween. A lot of people do fall festivals in October, so I do a lot of these different events for free. Majority of the ones for elementary schools are for free. So today, I promised to be there at 12 o'clock to set up because they're going to do their pep rally, to start to kick off their PBIS program, and I did say I was going to be there to provide it. So that's why we had to kind of cut this one short
Which
today. I
we
know
don't mind
we
because it's for the kids.
right. It's for the kids. It's for the kids.
Hmm.
But the biggest thing is that we're going to get back into practice. I know me and Tish, we know that we really want this to be a successful podcast
Yes.
because we really want to take time to educate people so you get the right services for your event. I know our industry, the biggest issues that we have in our industry is we have individuals that do like to take people. I'm gonna say scam. I want to say it the nice way, and I said, "No, let me just go ahead and call it for what it is."
Yeah, because
We
earlier
do
you were
have
saying it
people
very,
that
very
want to
nice. I
scam
kept saying
people,
scamming,
right?
scamming.
They're out here scamming people, and the thing is, the only thing we can do to help you protect yourself is please do research. I mean, at the same time, if you have questions and you just want to ask us questions, look us up, hit us up on Facebook.
Yeah.
We both have accounts on Facebook. If you got our cell phone numbers, I know on our websites we have our cell phone
Hmm.
numbers. Call us on our cell phones to ask questions. I don't mind answering questions at
Not at
all.
all.
You don't have to hire me to ask a question. I'm sorry. I'm
Mm-mm.
just I'm good that way. So
Mario will
just
tell you that in a heartbeat, if someone calls either one of us asking about a venue or a vendor, and we're not the vendor or venue, we will recommend things to you. But
right,
lastly, before you go, I do want you guys to also keep in mind that as you're out here, I know it's exciting to plan these parties and kids' parties and adult events and weddings and receptions and ceremonies and retirement event, whatever it is. I know it's an exciting thing, and I know it can be a stressful thing, but take the time to research. Take the time to communicate well with others, ask questions. Listen, I tell all of my clients, and I'm sure Mario says his own version of this, there is no stupid question out
right,
there. Because you haven't, if you have, I don't care if you've done 10 of these events before, there's always a question that somebody may have.
And you know what? I want to say what Brad just said. Absolutely. Please keep an open communication with your
Yes.
vendors. If you're
Yeah.
making changes, and don't never, I'm gonna say this, never ever make an assumption. If you would need, if there's a doubt come in your mind about a question about something going on taking place, please take that moment to ask, because I've seen it happen too many times. Well, I didn't think I needed to let the videographer or the photographer know this. But hello, they might have to bring different equipment because of what the changes
When
that you.
details change, we have to,
We have to make changes
switch
to it.
switch with it. Yep. And his next comment, pull that one up. That's really an important one. If you talk to 3 or 4 different DJs, 3 or 4 different photographers, 3 or 4 different decorators, 3 or 4 different planners, if be courteous enough to let the ones that you decided not to hire, because we're probably holding that date, waiting for you to call us back.
Right.
At least give us the courtesy of calling us back. Now, if we're professionals, because I have been, somebody's been hired for a job that I was up for, and I literally said to the person, I pray that you have a wonderful and blessed event, because I do. I want you to have a successful event. If somebody answers you real stank, they weren't really professional.
Right.
Okay, but just be courteous to those that you have reached out to, because a lot of times people will pencil you in on that date to make sure they don't give it up until you call back.
And I, you know what, and I think and that's a policy that I have in place. That's why now, when I send out a contract, I put a date on that contract.
Mm-hmm.
Within 7 days, if that contract is not returned, that date is no longer locked in.
Well, our my quotes and invoices expire in 48 hours, so I no
Right.
longer hold dates
So
anymore.
yours is 48. I give them at least 7 days, because most time, because they have to do their deposit and they have to do their
Mm-hmm.
contract at the same time. So if
Mm-hmm.
I don't receive that contract back within 7 days, then that date is freed up. And it's so funny. I had my first ghost client um this past week. Is she wanted a date for her birthday, submitted, gave the presentation, sent out the contract. Okay, so her seventh date was yesterday. All right, so now that date is back open. So, and I think that's for, I think only have, I think it was only, I had two Saturdays left open for 2024. So
Mm-hmm.
it was for one of those dates. I think it was March something. It was a date in March. I do remember that. So like now that date in March is going to be back open again. So I thought I was down to one Saturday. Now I'm back up to two Saturdays that are open for 2024.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I tell people all the time, I mean, I can't hold
I need to go
dates,
to my calendar.
huh?
I just thought about it. I think I need to go to my calendar. I think I only have 14 dates left in
Right. I mean,
2025.
it's October, so
I need to go.
yeah,
Yeah, this
that's
is my audit
October.
month. This is my audit month, y'all. I'm so sorry. My brain is completely gone. I am so focused on these other events that's coming up. I need to. This is my audit month. I got to
Okay.
audit myself this month. I think I have 14 Saturdays left for 2024. Holy Jesus. That's a blessing. Okay, on that note, Mario, you
Yes,
go
sir.
you go serve those kids, and you have them, you do your video thing and let them
I
party,
say,
party, party. You guys, Brad, thank you.
like always, thank you, Brad.
Excuse
Thank you,
me.
Brad.
Thank you, Brad. Thank you, Carrie, for joining us, and whoever else may be looking a distant comment. We really want to welcome you guys to our world on a weekly basis, Wednesday mornings, sometime between 10 and 11. We're going to try to be on the air. And that really depends on our crazy morning, because sometimes our phones won't stop ringing
Right.
in the mornings. But we will join you guys every week as much as we can. This is coming up on our down season, which to us could be only 4 to 6 events that month, because most of the time we're doing 12 or more events in a month. So this is our kind of slow season for us. So we'll be better, but it's also like my vacation season, because my anniversary was just like couple weeks ago. So it's like that time of year. But I'm done now till like late November. But you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day. Mario, you blow them kids' minds today and give them a great party. And I hope everybody has a wonderful Wednesday or hump day, whichever one you want to call it.
All right, y'all. Look, y'all be safe out there. Enjoy yourselves. Like I said, do always do what you think is right. And let's say we'll see you. Hopefully, we'll see y'all next Wednesday.
Fingers crossed.
All right. So,
All
ladies
right.
and gentlemen, we'll see y'all later. Again, thank you for joining us.
Bye.